Hello there, this is Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. It is Friday afternoon, the 26th of January, 2024. This should be a relatively short video. We're going to go through the market. I want to show you what I'm seeing, and we'll go from there. So we always have to say the video presentation is intended for educational purposes only. The discussion of any security is not a recommendation to purchase or sell the security. I'm always available, Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. Homepage, fleetcapitalmanagement.com. Here's our market videos, and this button up here will connect you to my schedule so we can do a Zoom meeting. Our stock picks, as of today, continue to do very well. We went back into the market with stocks the beginning of November, right around the November 15th, I believe. Excuse me, November 5th, I believe it was. And this top line here is the S&P 500 performance in those 3 months up to today. And this is the performance of Fleet Capital Management stock picks through today. So for November, if I get my trusty little pen here, November, you can see that the S&P 500 was up about 9%, and we were up about 22%, which was fabulous. In December, S&P was up 4.5%. We were up just over 5%. Again, I'm happy with that. January, S&P up 2.12. Our stock picks up 10.15. So obviously a lot to be happy with in our stock picking, and we'll just hopefully that continues on. I see no reason why it shouldn't. Let me go over to our matrix that we update every day, and this is updated through today, and you can just see that we are green across the board. The VIX fell just slightly, but we're still in that low number. Not worried about a bear market, not worried about anything short-term or mid-term. Everything looks very, very good. Again, nothing to be concerned with. Here is the S&P on a daily chart. This tick over here, this is today. And today was really flat. The S&P was down actually 0.07. But the important thing is, here's that white line. This was that previous high that I said it might take a couple of times to break through. We did break through it. We are running up. We're nowhere near the top of the linear regression, which is really good. But again, you know, I can't tell you what the market's going to do next week, but I can tell you that in classical technical analysis, once it breaks through, we tend to see it come back to that line before it runs again. And the reason is this was resistance or the ceiling, and now we want to see it act as support and then another run up. Don't know that that's going to happen, but that is very typical. On a number of these up days, we've got greater than average volume, which you can see right here, which is another positive. On balance, every day we've got a green here, which means on balance, the buy orders are greater than the sell orders. We like to see that. And without going through all of this, I like what I'm seeing. I like that momentum in volume is picking up. These are my DI indexes. Those look really good. Everything just looks good. Nothing looks bad to me here. Yesterday, and I'm going to talk about this next week, but yesterday we had an earnings from URI, and we were up about 13%. I think next week I'm going to include in the video, I'm going to show you my rules, if you will, for how I process earnings announcements. A long time ago, or what I was always taught, was to sell the stock right before earnings. And I realized from my own research that can be foolish, because many times we get some of the biggest gains when we hold through earnings. So I'll show you all my rules on that and how I process that information. For those of you who own Bitcoin with me, Bitcoin, obviously, the SEC passed the addition of ETFs on Bitcoin, and lots of people have been saying, well, why did it go down so drastically once the SEC approved what should have been an incredibly bullish sign? And what a number of people don't understand is Bitto, which is a fund that I was in, and then there's another one called Grayscale. They're very high management fee products, because those were the only game in town until the SEC did the approval of the ETFs. So we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars just being sold out and dumped onto the market. So that's why that was happening, in my opinion. And it looks like that is drying up. Let me show you a couple of things here. First of all, if you see, this almost looks like a bottom and a round back up, okay? So we were going back down, and then it seems like we're starting to go back up. Down here, this is that on balance volume. You can see how wide it is. That means there was just huge negative volume, and now you can see that is starting to dry up. Also, this light color inside this red color, these are volume metrics. This right here, this lighter color, is called overflow volume. That usually happens when either retail investors are coming into the market with FOMO, or what we're seeing with Bitcoin, but it looks like that ended today. It was starting to end yesterday, and it looks like it has ended today. Another thing is on my DI analysis, which is directional index. You can see that the green is just about ready to cross back up over the red. So bottom line with this is we understand now why there was this big downdraft after a wonderful move by the SEC to open these up to institutional investors. And that was because how much money, and again, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars being dumped from those very high internal fee products to these very low internal fee products. And so that was just a disruption in the market. I'm not worried about that. And I think that the upside is dramatic for Bitcoin. So, but we'll see how it plays out over the next few months. In any event, that's a story. That's really all I wanted to go over with you. Our stocks are doing great. Our stock picks are doing great. Market's doing well. Going back to the S&P 500, market's doing well. All of my indicators are bullish. I am not seeing anything at all right now that is negative or bearish. So we will just keep riding the wave. I think this could be, and I've said this before, I think this is going to end up being a very good year again for us. It doesn't mean we're not going to have hiccups and some downdrafts like we had last year in 23, but we still ended the year on a very, very positive note. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again this year. So that's the story. If you have any questions, you know I'm always available. Next week, I think I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I do my earnings analysis. There's a good deal of information that goes on behind the scenes to make a decision whether to hold through earnings, sell before earnings, put a stop in place, not put a stop in place, and I'll show you that next week. So with that, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back with you on Monday morning. Bye-bye.